Hey everyone, I am here today with the wonderful Claudia Riveros from Riveros Illustrations. Hi Claudia, how are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm good. I'm a little bit sick, but I'm really excited to be here.
Claudia's going above and beyond today.
Yeah, it was just it's raining on my parade. I was super excited to be here, but it doesn't matter. Today we're here, and today we're gonna have some fun.
And Claudia, what do you have to share with us today?
So today we're gonna talk about how to draw hands.
Awesome.
And yeah, you might think that drawing hands is actually pretty hard, but in reality, it's not so hard. It's just a matter of understanding how things work in relation to each other. So how different elements work in relation, basically, to each other. And I'm just going to share with you a few of the basic rules. And also, at the end, I'm going to give you a free ebook that's going to show you all the things that we're going to be talking about. Because if you've been on a live session with me before, you know that I'm Latin and I talk really fast.
Awesome. I'm sure I think Mariana's in the background today, so she'll be linking up that ebook. And obviously this is using the new hand drawing toolkit, which you've put together for Procreate, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And check that out via the green button at the bottom.
For this session, the first thing I want to share with you guys is just like some of these basic rules. But then later I'm going to show you how to use the hand drawing toolkit, which is basically the easiest way to draw hands. But I also wanted to leave with some understanding of why things are proportionate and how like elements work together. So yeah, we're going to start with some basic rules of how to draw hands, and then you'll see a super easy way to draw hands.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic, Claudia. Well, over to you.
Okay, so this is the hand that we're going to be working on today. So like I said before, hands, it might seem like a very, very difficult thing to draw, but you're going to see it's actually, if you follow a few rules, it becomes really simple. So I'm going to start by looking at my own hand. It's always a good idea to take a picture of your own hand and use it as a reference. In this case, I had this reference. And I'm going to keep it, just so you keep one reference on the side. I'm right now going to start drawing without one. But yeah, you keep one, okay? So to start, I'm gonna start drawing out. Here we go. Soft box, and this will be the palm of the hand. So it's just gonna be like a soft box like this. Doesn't need to be perfect at all. We're gonna work on that later on. So I'm gonna make it a bit bigger, like this. So here we go. Now this will be the palm of my hand. Now, the palm of your hand gives you the size of the middle finger of your hand. If you look at your hand, you'll see that from the knuckle to the top of your finger matches the same size that your palm has. So from here, I'm just gonna measure it right quickly, and I'm gonna duplicate it and move it up here. So with this, I already have the size of my middle finger. Now I'm going to join all of it together, make a new layer. Now, from this point down here, I'm going to make 3 lines that are diagonal, just to mark the tendons and where the fingers will be. So we have this now. Now, from this, we're going to start working on where the thumb will be. My thumb is going to be on this side of the hand, because if you see my reference, this is the left hand. So, okay. I'm going to take then the half of the measurement of my palm, and I'm going to move it to the side, a little bit outside of the first box we made. And I'm going to just make a point there. Now, after this, I'm going to join this first tendon with this dot and with this part of my box. So far, any questions or something?
Any questions? No, I think we're all good actually. I think it's just fascinating watching you break it down in some kind of formula, because I've done figure drawing in the past, really difficult. So it's really lovely to guide to these proportions and just some way to get started, so you're not just
Thank you.
My eyes so tough.
Thank you. I'm really passionate about finding the simplest way to explain something. So of course, there's a lot of different ways of learning how to draw a hand. But over the years, I just found these proportions on my own, and also some books and some research. So I thought that it would be cool to share them with you.
Yeah, it's cool drawing in the tendons and stuff as well to give that kind of initial structure.
Yeah, yeah. So from this point, we're gonna just I'm going to make a new layer. And now freely, I'm just going to, from this points that the tendons make, I'm just going to make a few lines. Right now, it doesn't matter the size. We're going to work on the size a little bit later. So I'm just going to make lines just to mark where the fingers will be eventually.
Sam says it's the easiest she's seen anyone draw a palm. I'm in awe.
Awesome. Yeah. No, that makes me really happy. Thank you. Right now, I'm going to work on the knuckles. So from these points that we have, just going to make a small oval shape. And this will become the knuckles afterwards. I'm also going to make one for the thumb right here. That's good. Okay. Once we have this, I'm going to start now working on the different sizes on the fingers. So I'm just going to join everything, make a new layer. And you're going to find that your middle finger, or all of your fingers have, except the thumb, have 3 sections. And the first section of the middle finger reaches at about the middle point of this line. Maybe a little bit less than this, a little bit smaller than half, just here. And then every one of these next section is going to be 1/3 smaller than the section before. So if I break this, I'm going to make a new layer. If I break this up to here into 3 and I move it up, then the first section should go where these 2 are. No. Yeah, wait, we did something weird there. Let's do it again.
Always the way when people are watching.
So let's have this size, and now we're gonna break it into 3. There we go. Gonna take it up here, and we're gonna use these 2 first ones for lower the opacity for the second section. So it's gonna be like one that's bigger, 1/3 smaller, and 1/3 smaller than the one before. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna now make small circles. Just I have more or less like the size of the finger. I would use the reference picture to see how big I would make these circles, okay? So right after we have this, the length of the middle finger actually gives you the length of the index and the ring finger. Because if you can see me, right, in the camera?
Yeah.
So if you see at my middle finger, my index and my ring finger reach almost the bed of my nail. So index and ring finger have about the same size. It's just that they're positioned in an arch, so then they look like one is bigger than the other. But in reality, they're both around the same size. So going back to my drawing, I'm going to use this circle to mark the bed of the nail. So I'm going to make a line here. And this is going to help me see then the height of my index and my ring finger. Okay. Now from this point, I'm just going to make small arch just to have a visual of how a hand should be. Just a small arch like this. And now, does anyone have any questions? Am I going a bit too fast, or everyone with me?
I think we're good. Does anyone have any questions at this stage?
You
Do
can,
pop them in the
you can let me know.
At the bottom. But I think
you can let.
Yeah, Claudia, it's great.
Awesome. Just let us know in case I'm going a bit too fast. And if you think it's a bit too fast, then just enjoy the session, and later on you'll have an ebook with all of these steps described for you with like a text on the side, so you can understand everything I'm doing. Because of the time, I have to go a little bit fast, so that's why. So once you have this arch, you're just gonna use the points that we did before, these ones, in the middle finger to more or less define the size or the positions of the other knuckles. So like here, like so. Okay. Once you have this, I'm gonna make small circles on the intersections of the arch and the lines I made for the fingers. So
Sam
like
says she's watching and absorbing first, but it's all been pretty clear so far. Rachel says she
awesome.
wants to rewatch because she's working at the same time. Now, I often do this, Rachel, so I can empathise because I always
Me
catch
too.
sessions, but I'm often working at the same time.
Yeah, me too. But I often watch things like 2-3 times and I take notes afterwards. So right now you can, yeah, just like watch, and then later on you can either follow or yeah. Now we have then the size and the measurement of the knuckles of the index, middle, and ring finger. Now we're gonna go for the pinky. So the pinky reaches at about the height of the second section of the ring finger. I don't know if you can see it here in my camera, like
yeah,
this.
I keep finding myself looking down at my own hand, Claudia. I'm like, oh,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you can look at your own hand. You're always having the best reference with you. So, as I said, then the pinky will reach this point of the ring finger. So here's where the pinky will reach. And now you're just gonna break this section. You're gonna add one here where the arch ends and one in the center. And here you have then all your 4 fingers. Now the thumb is a little bit different because the thumb comes from here. Then you have 2 sections that are outside of the palm, so to say. So we're gonna start finding that, and to do that, you're gonna notice in your own hand that the thumb reaches about the height of the first section of the index finger. So let's say here, in this arch, my thumb should reach. Here. My thumb should reach.
My question is: did you have to work all of this out when you made the hand drawing toolkit itself? Was this something, or is this something you've built up over years of sort of hand study, or did you get to making the product? Well, I need to make a formula for this to make it work as a product.
Well, I've always been fascinated with drawing hands because I always heard that drawing hands is the hardest and it's so difficult and this and that. And yeah, and I just really like finding easy shapes and easy ways to explain how to draw something because I always wanted to draw the world around me. And so when I was around 15, 16, I got a little bit obsessive about drawing hands. So I read a lot of books about hand anatomy, and I just stared at my hand endlessly, trying to find like, the different relationships between the hand and what other masters would say about drawing hands. And then when I made the hand drawing toolkit, of course, I had to go over all of these things just to see how I can create a product that create proportionate hands. Yeah. But I'll show you later on how the hand drawing toolkit ended up being, because I'm actually pretty proud of how it turned out.
Very cool product.
Thank you. So like I was saying, so the thumb will reach the first section here of the index finger. So that will be more or less the height of your thumb. And now in between this point and the circle we just made, we're just gonna make another circle. And now this will be basically the skeleton of hand drawing. One thing that I definitely learned over the years, my biggest problem when drawing hands is that the wrist, I would make it really thin. And my friends would call it spaghetti hand because it's impossible that this wrist holds this hand. So I came up with the idea of just drawing a small circle. Doesn't need to be a perfect circle, just so I can keep the thickness that it should have. Wow. So here. And then if you also look at your own hand, you'll notice that you have a very strong bone over here. So here it's covered by my watch, but I always like to just mark it to know where to put shadows. And with this, you basically just drew the skeleton of a hand. It might not seem like it, but I'm gonna just look.
It looks like one of those computer models, you know, where they put the little balls on someone and then they move around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, to create
right.
Superhero moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna now show you that it is hand. I'm gonna just change my pencil because I was using a little bit of a softer pencil. And now what you're gonna do is just follow this skeleton you made. So on a new layer, yes, it's on. I'm just gonna start by making and using the thickness of the circles that I had before. I'm just gonna just a second.
Wendy says that's the best explanation of drawing the thumb. It's really
good.
Oh,
thank you so much.
I wish I'd had this when I was doing figure drawing back at college.
Oh yeah, that's so cool. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot to me. Right now, I'm not really going to focus on details or on anything. I'm just going to try to think of drawing sometimes as a sculpture. So you have to find drawing, right? You're not going to start when you're sculpting something. You don't start with the details and like the small little things. You start like finding a shape out of a rock. So right now we're trying to find the shape of our future hand. I'm just going to find it. And once I find it and I like what I'm looking at, then I'm going to start adding details to it. So I can see, since I didn't use a reference, my circles here were a little bit too small, but I'm gonna just make the fingers a little bit thicker than that. And I'm gonna be using my own hand when I'm trying to find this hand. So I can see that this line here, it doesn't just end like this, and then the finger comes like this, right? It's a little bit softer. It comes a little bit on the inside, and then the other finger just comes out of here, kind of. So having a skeleton, use your own hand to try to find it in your drawing. So let's say like here. Here. Same here. It's not like a straight line. It just kind of curves like this. And both fingers find each other.
I don't think I've ever looked at my hands so intently ever, Claudia.
Yeah, that's another thing I learned when I was learning how to, when I'm always learning how to draw, but when I started learning how to draw, I noticed that sometimes, you just draw for fun, and that's also really important. But it's super important when you want to draw something a little bit more realistic to practice consciously and like to really look at things. I think that drawing is just being able to really look at the things that are around you, find the most basic shapes, the easiest way to describe something, and then it really becomes easy. It doesn't matter what it is, but you're gonna find that it's actually super easy to draw once you find how the elements of what you want to draw work together, basically. Yeah. So right now I'm just finding my hand like here. And here, with this triangle we made before, here's where my hand will start going towards my thumb. Like here. Also, if I look at my hand, again, like I said, when you're drawing something that's alive, there's not really like a straight line. So it's never going to be that a finger just goes like this, and it's always a soft, really gentle line. It ends in a curve. But this will come with practice. It's a matter of understanding these rules and just trying to apply them to now every hand you draw, basically. So you have here. Now here, the
Dee's saying she hasn't looked at her hand so intently like this either. Yeah.
That's so nice. I really love those comments. Wait, I'm gonna change this eraser. But yeah, it's super cool. I feel like when you try to really find the most basic ways of doing things, because then you realize how simple things actually are, and that you shouldn't be afraid of drawing anything. Because I know that a lot of beginners, they are afraid of drawing hands, and so they make just a drawing and they hide the hands. And it's like, you were already brave enough to make a drawing, so you can also try to make a hand. It doesn't matter if it ruins it. It's fine. You can make another one. That's the cool thing about drawing.
Dan Flores last week admitted that he doesn't like drawing ankles, so on all his trainers, his sneakers, he'd massive tongues to cover the ankles.
Yeah, I can imagine. Honestly, feet are also not the funnest thing to draw, but I just find them so alien. I don't know. It's so weird. But it's also...
Poll is currently on the hardest part of the body part to draw. 76% think it's the hands.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, face at 11%, feet at 9.3.
They have to... they have to come and check out this session and see that it's not so scary. Right now I'm fixing this thumb. I'm just looking at my own thumb. And another good thing about another cool tip, sorry, is that the sections of the fingers, they're not going to be like a box, right? They're always like a small cushion. It allows you to like fold and to grab. So then I make it like round and round. And here we basically have then the base of the hand, following the skeleton we did before. This would be a proportionate hand. Now, again, just looking at your reference or at your own hand, I'm going to start including the nails. For this, I'm going to turn on the sketch again. I'm just going to lower the opacity even a bit more. And now I'm going to use the small circles, this one that we made before on the top, to create the bed of my nails. So I'm just going to create a small box. Right now, I'm drawing my hand. So I'm going to make a little bit longer nails, but you can make whatever nail you want. It's fine. Just going to draw them a little bit longer. And I'm going to erase here. So here we go. And again, with the circle, I'm going to find the bed of the nail. I'm just going to go up.
Patricia's saying she avoids hands as well. I know. That's figure drawing for you.
Yeah.
I kind of avoid the whole figure after my figure drawing classes.
No. I'm going to start knitting, not this drawing business.
Yeah, it would have been easy. I seem to remember it was like, there's a gentleman over there with no clothes. Here's a bit of charcoal. Good luck.
Go wild.
Go wild. See how it comes out.
Yeah. But figure drawing is quite, I mean, it's really, really cool. But I feel it's awesome. But you have like 30 seconds to capture it. So it's incredible because it helps you so much to just loosen up and to not think about drawing as something, you know, scary or that people are going to judge you. Like, it doesn't matter. You're learning how to draw and it's your own drawing, you know. You can just, I don't know,
for sure,
make it. Yeah. But I also really loved figure drawing. There's also this website. It's called lineofaction.com. I think it's called lineofaction.com. I think so. And you can set up what you want to draw. So if I wanted to draw, let's say, a masculine figure, and for how long do I want the reference image to stay in the screen. So then you can write like 30 seconds, and you can do the same with the iPad. I often do those practices. I can show you later if you have some time, some of the things that I've done with this website. It's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm still including the nails, right? So again, not really. Okay. So now that we have the 4 nails of the 4 fingers, we're going to talk about the thumb. Oh. Thing about the nails of these fingers is that you can see the nail from this position. You can see it in the center of each finger, right? But for the thumb, of course, you can't because it's a opposable thumb. so it folds different, and that's why you can see the side of it. So then from here, using more or less the same distance I used with the small circle, I'm just going to make my thumb here.
Well, talking of imposable thumbs, good segue into this one. Conrad asks, have you ever done non-human hands? And if you did, which was the most difficult to do? So at least you didn't have to think about the imposable thumb unless you were doing a primate.
Well, that's a cool question. I don't draw because people are exposed to them every day, and then they can really see if something is off. Whereas if I'm drawing the hand of let's say a bear, or the paw of a lion, the paw of a bear, or the paw of a lion, then I am allowed a little bit more mistakes because people are not really super used to looking at them. So I would say that the human hand, just because like we're more on the lookout for mistakes when you find one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. I liked it. Once I have all the nails done, I'm gonna start working on the small folds in the hand. Now, here's where people start making lines that are a little bit are the same strength of line. I don't know if that's how you say this, but let's say it for this session like this, as these lines that we're doing. And with these small details, you really want to go super delicately. So I'm going to include a small fold underneath each one of the nails.
Conrad says that's a good answer. It's a great answer, isn't it? I think we are
Thank you.
so attuned to looking at people's faces and hands and bodies that the
Yeah.
mistake is really costly from a design.
It really jumps out. Whereas if you're drawing an animal or even like a made-up creature with a weird hand, it really like it might be difficult to draw it, but people will not notice. They won't say like, oh, maybe you should practice how to draw hands. They're gonna be like, oh, that's a cool drawing of a bear's paw. You know. I'm gonna also use the small circles that we did before to mark fingers to create small folds where the finger will fold, basically. So here.
A little bit of a question for our audience now. If you'd be interested in Claudia putting a product together that did this for the whole body and gave you the formula and the proportions and how it was drawn, is that a product you'd be interested in? Pop yes into the chat if you would, because I think I would absolutely love that product.
That's so cool. I would love to do that product. That would be like a super fun.
I think that'd be awesome. Chris,
yeah.
Yes. Jerry says yes. Do you know, and
I
think
cool.
This kind of thing, especially as a student of design or art, it would be so useful to have that.
That's so cool. For sure. And we know that that's in the works.
In capital letters with an exclamation mark.
So I think that's a yes. Thank you so much for saying that, guys. I'll for sure be working on something like that then for you. You'll be hearing from me. You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Awesome.
Sorry. Using the lines that I did before, you're almost not going to see it because I really want to create a drawing that feels like it's done in a piece of paper. So using the lines for tendons, you can kind of see here. Wait. Here are the lines for the tendons, right? I'm going to make a new layer so you can. Here are the lines for the tendons. Here. So then I'm making this really small and weak lines. Of course, right now I'm making them darker so you can see them. But just to mark when I want to add shadow, where those tendons should be. So like this. And I'm also going to include, if you see at my thumb, you can see that here there's a big area where there's a lot of shadow. So I'm just going to add a small line over here just to keep that in mind. So an area with a little of shadow. And now that you have this, it's all a matter of filling it in, how you would like to fill it in. So some people would like to ink it, some people would like to add it in graphite, like I did, for instance, with the, let me just click all of this. I just started adding shadows and do all of the small, you see here, you can see this like really delicate lines here, just to show where the tendons are. And I included the nails I did for that day. I did them specifically for Kat from the sign cuts. And then this would be basically how you would draw a hand. But it's also okay to just, you know, ink it or, yeah, just use your own style once you have this part. I don't really want to be here and saying like, this is the correct way. You can use your own style and have fun with it. But this is the formula of how to draw a proportionate hand. So let me know if you guys.
Shading. So
yeah?
she loved Amy loved the shading. So there you go.
Thank you. I can turn that on right now so you can see like how it would look after a few minutes or an hour of adding shade really intently. And one tip I'm gonna give you is you can see here what I did to if you wanted to draw a hand like this, I would say that in Procreate, it's actually really cool because what I did is I created, I'm gonna just turn off I created a base, a white base, right? And then what I did is I just selected it, and let me just turn this on. This was my sketch from before, went on top, and then if you have it selected, I'm just gonna use this, you can't really get out of the lines.
Cool.
Right? So then one way of including like nice, sorry guys, here, let me turn this off. One way of including delicate shadows on the edges of the hand is using this technique just to create like this. So that's one tip if you wanted to shade like you would in paper, but using Procreate. But basically, that's how you draw proportionate hand using Procreate. And if you don't have any questions, I can hop on how the easiest way to draw hands will look like.
Is it? I have one question actually, which is, do you have a particular favorite shading brush pack to use with your hands?
Yeah, so this is my latest brush set. It's called the Nifty Brushes, and I absolutely love them. I'm a little bit obsessed with them. I use them like for everything. But the hand drawing toolkit comes with this brush pack. Awesome. That would allow you to either ink it or add some shadows, some filling, some cross hatching. So it's a little bit of a broad brush pack that would allow you to basically create a hand that goes with your own style of drawing. Nice. But for shading, like I draw, I use my Nifty brushes because I really love them quite a lot.
Nifty brushes in the chat, so do go and check those out as well because they look really cool.
Hey, cool, thank you. And right now we can talk about the hand drawing toolkit.
Wendy says Nifty is a great set of brushes. Thank you, Wendy. Cool to hear.
Thank you so much. I really love them also. So the hand toolkit, basically, this is the creation of it. You can see from behind. It comes with a set of stamps. Let me just find it here, just a second. Hand. So it comes with a set of stamps that allow you to draw each finger in 4 different positions. From the front, this is the front, and from the back. And it also includes some extra poses that you could just stamp into your own drawing. So let's say you're creating a character that's standing and you want a hand that's, let's just create a new layer. A hand that's just resting, you can just include this hand or make it bigger. Like this.
Cool. So
the hand is already stamped and you can then lower the opacity and just shade it. And that's one way of using the hand drawing toolkit. My favorite way of using it is create any hand you want. So I'm gonna make right now a peace sign from the front. So like this, if you look at me in the camera. So how to use it? I'm just gonna join all of this so it's a little bit cleaner to explain.
Patricia says this it's a really awesome product.
Thank you. That's really cool. I'm gonna explain now how to use it. So you're going to go to a fresh layer. And in this layer, I'm going to go, if I want to draw the front, I'm going to go to the front brush pack or the back brush pack. You understand? So I'm going to select the palm from the front. This is the palm from the front. Oops. I emptied the layer by mistake, so I'll stamp it again. And I'll just make it a little bit bigger. Now, the important thing about this is you're going to make a new layer. And in this new layer, you're going to choose the thumb that you want out of this 4 thumbs. I'm going to go with this one because I wanted to make this hand, like a peace hand. So I'm just going to stamp it anywhere. And I'm going to move it. Just remove this nothing in the freeform. I'm going to move it so it matches with this circle. If it doesn't match, then you're just going to make it a little bit bigger. When it's matching the 2 circles, then the thumb is proportionate to the hand. That's basically how this product works. I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to select the index finger. Again, I'll resize it, and I'll move it. Once it's matching, I know it's proportional.
Neil says she's got all your products, and they're awesome. And Patricia says, I really need this product. I think everyone needs this product. I need this product, given my hand drawing skills.
Thank you so much. This is one of my favorite products also, because I think it really helps our beginners understand how how fingers and the palm of the hand, how the elements work. And of course, this combined with practice and the tips I gave you, you're gonna be drawing hands like a pro in no time. In no time. Sounded like I said long time, but because I'm sick, but I said no time. Okay, I made a new layer, and I'm gonna choose now the middle finger I want, which is extended like this. So I'll resize it, and I'll put it so it matches here. New layer and new finger. And I'm gonna go with the closed ring finger. Again, just resize it. A little bigger. There we go. New layer and the pinky. I'm gonna go with the small closed finger. So like this. So here, there we go. And now I'm just gonna make a new layer. And I included the circle for the wrist because, like I said before, that was my biggest problem when I was learning how to draw hands. I would never get the wrist right. I would make it too thin. So I just included a circle that would allow you to make it so that the wrist is also proportionate to the palm of the hand. Once you have all of this, I just join everything, lower the opacity, and with the line those hands, I'll just choose the Inkit for this one. You basically just have to trace it. I'm just gonna trace it quickly, so. And it also has a small folds, so you can just include them. Here we go. Now, and this brush is basically like a pencil ink brush. It's also like really good with pressure. I really like it for inking everything. Because it has like this organic sort of feeling.
Nice, really breaks it up, doesn't it?
Thank you. I'm just gonna delete this part. Gonna add the fold here. Gonna add a fold here for the palm. Here. Okay. So here.
Wendy asks, which specific brush are you using?
Right now I'm using the Inkit brush from the Line Those Hands. So this 4 brush sets come in the hand drawing toolkit. So it's the front stems, the back stems. You're gonna get 20 extra hand poses that are already drawn, and then this is like an extra free part of the project. Nice. So yeah. I'm just gonna put this here.
It's amazing.
Of course, if I
born out of making another product, you know.
yeah, because you just want to add value, and then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna make this set so that they can also, you know, draw the hands, and yeah. So here, and I'm gonna use the lines in the palm just to make. I'm just gonna move this like here so I can make this line, and then the palm. And I'm also gonna just add a few lines here and turn the sketch, and there you go.
That's awesome, Claudia. So cool. Really.
Thank you.
And you can see lots more. You've actually got loads more hand poses and stuff, haven't you? Actually, in the product itself, if you have a look on the page, everyone. You can see
I can.
The other things you can put together. You've got a love heart one there, which is really nice. I see.
You have a pointing. Yeah. You have one that's like this, that's already shaded. I use this one for this illustration. So sometimes you have an illustration, and then you can just stamp it, shade it, and then you finish the illustration a little bit faster than you would before. And I think here are all the hands. This is where I drew them. So these are all the hands that you would get that are already drawn. So pointing hand, relaxed hand, this one. This is like a cigarette hand. This is holding something. Okay. Also holding something bigger. Holding something. Oh, this is a cigarette hand. Like holding flowers, pointing, a resting hand, not a resting hand, resting hand, resting hand. And the other 5 that were already in the pack, because I updated it actually for the live event for you guys. So you can make quick illustrations kind of like this.
That's really cool. Such a complicated shape as well, isn't it? There's so many complexities to it, and this this formula really does help actually show how it all fits together.
Thank you. If you guys would want, if I don't know if we have still time, I could do a small recap on the things that we talked about before. I don't know how we are in time.
Yeah, no, but please do. We're good for time. And Bill says this session with Claudia is a huge help in that she's showcasing.
Oh, thank you. That means so much to me.
Which will help your brain when you go on to draw them later. Thank you, Bill. It's really good, isn't it? Yeah, we've got a bit of time. We're all good. And if anybody wants to ask any more questions, please pop them in at the bottom whilst we've got Claudia here.
Definitely drop them by. Yeah, I'm just going to show you then the free ebook that you're going to get. This is the free ebook you'll get for this session. So we're going to go through how to draw like the Hands 101 and then how to use the toolkit. So this is the reference. And I'm just going to go super fast because at the end of all of this, you have a recap area. So we can go through it and we can see how things are here. So the 26th, 27th, let's recap. So we have here the relationships within the hand.
Oh, that's awesome.
So thank you. We're going to start with, if you find A and B, that's the size of the palm in relation to the middle finger. So the palm and the middle finger have around the same size. Then we're going to find C and D, like I said before. The index and the ring finger also have the same size, but they are in a different point in the arch of the palm. So then it looks like the ring finger is actually bigger. But if you measure them, they're around the same size. Then we find E and F. So the index finger reaches the bed of the nail of the middle finger. So E and F. Then we have G and H, where the pinky finger reaches the ring finger, which is on this first section. So we have I and J, which is where the thumb reaches around the point in the index finger. Okay, and now then the point also where the thumb starts would be L, the K. And if you take a line from the center point of the height of the palm towards the side, that's where the thumb will start. And so this is a recap of what it's also written here in the free book you're gonna get. So then we can go through it with a little bit more time, and yeah, this is basically one of the freebies. And I think you're also gonna get a free sample of the hand drawing toolkit. You're gonna get I think 3 or 5 already drawn hands, so that you can start stamping them into your drawings.
Awesome. If we can link that up again, that would be absolutely fantastic.
So yeah, here I explain again how to use it, and I did the same hand as before. So then you just draw it as you want after you have this. So if you have any questions or anything, please let me know.
Had a question pop in, which is good. Is the process to draw children's hands different? That's interesting. Are the proportions the same for children's hands?
It is different, definitely. There's an incredible book by Andrew Loomis. It's called Drawing Hands, Andrew Loomis. And most of the things I've learned, I actually got from that book. This man is an absolute genius of drawing. And he goes in different chapters. He explains the difference between the female hand, the male hand, the children, like a toddler hand, child's hand. So definitely check this book out. It's called Drawing Hands by Andrew Loomis. Basically, the difference between the hands is that when you see an adult hand, it's fully developed, right? So everything is in more or less the same proportions. But if we're talking about a child's hand or a baby's hand, it's, of course, if you just think about it, it just feels chubbier. The proportions are a little bit off. They still have their own like set of rules that would work, draw every single time a proportionate baby hand, but it's like a completely different process than drawing an adult hand, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. No, it absolutely makes sense. My daughter's hands were wonderfully chubby. They're getting a bit more elongated now, but
exactly. Just like a cute little chubby hands. Yeah, exactly.
As a baby, you couldn't see the knuckles. Everything was like reversed.
Exactly. So I mean, I would have to go in depth, and like maybe I could even eventually prepare different ways of drawing different hands. But this set of proportions will help you to draw female and male hands. So there's not so much difference. The main difference is that, of course, male hands are a little, yeah, I would say sturdy and robust, and female hands, I always like to draw them a little bit more like delicate. But yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Again, check out Claudia's product. It'll be absolutely awesome if you want to learn more about drawing hands. And yeah, brilliant.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thanks so much, Claudia. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
It was really fun.
Take care.
Bye, guys.